little brother is coming to town. The Minnesota Golden Gophers head to Columbus to take on the Buckeyes. Ohio State 4-0. Minnesota 3-1 to start the season. We've got your what to watch for, your keys to victory, all the info you need to know for this matchup here on the Ohio State Football Report. And it's free. Who doesn't love that aspect of getting your Buckeyes content daily, weekly, all season long here on the Ohio State Football Report? However, we got to get something out of the way here. Let's like the video to bring the Buckeyes good luck. Make sure you like the video if you want the Buckeyes to beat Minnesota. You may say to yourself, how does that work? What does this mean? Hey, we've done it 4 times. It's worked 4 times. Let's make sure we do it again. So if you want Ohio State to win this Saturday, be sure to like the video. We get right into our what to watch for this game overall, but I'd like to give you guys a little bit of info mainly on the opponent if you're not familiar. We begin with Minnesota. They have a good defense. This is a good defensive unit, especially against the run. Looking at the numbers for Minnesota, this is the 9th ranked defense overall nationally. It's pretty good. Pretty good to be in that top 10, especially with inflated numbers with some of the lesser teams and different conferences and FBS and FCS and college football. Minnesota at 9. Pretty good for an overall defense. That 230 yards per game, pretty impressive. Holding teams to that is good. And then the running, that's where they specialize. Stopping the run, allowing just 65.5 rushing yards per game right now. And the 2 guys making it happen, the linebackers for Minnesota, Devon Williams and Maverick Baranowski. Yeah, you don't want to go straight on, run straight on against a guy named Maverick right now. Impressed by their numbers, looking pretty good, and Ohio State hasn't necessarily been a run-heavy or run-fueled offense right now, so I think that aspect of the game definitely can go Minnesota's way. Their defense is built for it, and it could cause a problem for the Buckeyes. Number 2, historically, Minnesota runs the ball. I think they will run the ball once again. That will be their favor. However, they're getting good quarterback play right now out of Drake Lindsey. Even comparing him to Julian Sand, who's had a good season so far. You look at Lindsey, you look at Sand. Obviously, Julian Sand is the most accurate quarterback in the Big Ten, probably college football right now. So that 78.8 is going to stick, ride, and roll for a good point of the season. But Lindsey's been making it happen, almost at 1,000 yards passing. Not necessarily a rushing quarterback, but he's keeping Minnesota where they need to be offensively. These are better numbers than I expected from a Minnesota quarterback, better numbers than the past few years for a Minnesota quarterback. So Ohio State has to give respect to Drake Lindsey and make sure they pay attention to that part of the Minnesota offense instead of what they usually count on, which is a run-heavy attack from P.J. Fleck. This is a respect amongst coaches situation. P.J. Fleck has been pretty good for Minnesota. He has stabilized Minnesota and given them more good years than bad years. And Ryan Day both respects the coach and has noticed what he has done at Minnesota. The quote he gave yesterday at his press conference, "I respect P.J. Fleck as much as anybody in the country and their coaching staff, how hard they play. It'll be a challenge. You don't play Minnesota and think you're just going to run the ball without a lot of hard work." I keep flashing back to C.J. Stroud's debut a couple years ago, in which Fleck and the rest of Minnesota really gave Ohio State trouble, took them to the wire in a night game. Wasn't very comfortable in that one, and that's when I gained my respect for P.J. Fleck. Ryan Day, however, I think has gained it over the years with the more they've played. However, another situation where I think Ryan Day wants to make sure his team wins and grows while doing it, and that means he'll run up the score if he has to. I don't think there's any sort of mutual respect mercy here. I just think Ryan Day wants to win. I think he wants to look good doing it, and I think he wants his team to look good doing it. So I would expect Ohio State to run that score up, even if it gets later in the game. Respect amongst coaches for sure, but again, Ryan Day has said many times, it's all about getting better. I want to let you guys know today's episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the action this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. My favorite part about Prize Picks is it's simple to play. You just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. Prize Picks is the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. So you want more on Josh Allen passing yards, rush yards, and touchdowns. Now you can pick all of them in the same lineup, only on Prize Picks. Getting you set for Thursday night football, the Rams and Niners. Devontae Adams, we're going to go more on the rushing or receiving touchdowns. I love having both in there. More on Matthew Stafford. 233.5 passing yards, go more there. And Christian McCaffrey, more on his receiving yards, 48.5. So, also have the opportunity to follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app and copy their lineups in one click. Whether it's a friend, a celebrity, or just someone who picks how you like, hit that follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab on Prize Picks. Wanted to let you guys know about that. Now, download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. All right, let's talk a little bit about a streak that many have noticed. I noticed specifically, and I want to see this bad boy continue. I think it will continue this week. But if you look at the Buckeyes' first 4 games, the scores in these first 4 games, no 10s, nothing in the double digits, nothing over 10 points for the Buckeyes' opponents. Texas just had the 1 touchdown. Grambling didn't score. Ohio had the 9, and Washington could have had 9 if they kicked their field goal. And the number 1 scoring offense in the country at the time only gets 4 games, and nobody has scored 10 points. I have had a ton of fun watching this streak because it's watching the Ohio State defense go to work. Again, Washington was the number 1 scoring offense in the country going into that game. They come away with 6 points and lose by a few touchdowns. This defense is unbelievable. They get better and better and better week by week, and they change week to week. Matt Patricia has this group switching up constantly, doing different things constantly every single week, and I love it. I'm watching for it this week specifically because I think it's going to be really tough to keep going. It'll be fun to see it this week. I think they can do it against Minnesota. You do have that Illinois and Indiana matchup in the future, so you kind of got to be careful on that. Just Illinois. That matchup there, that is where you kind of get set into the offenses that score a little bit more, give you a little bit more trouble. But for now, teams not scoring 10 points against the Buckeyes. Let's keep a watch and keep an eye on that one. Predict the score to go along with that. This Saturday, Ohio State and Minnesota, a night game. What do you think on that one? What is your score prediction? Let us know in the comments down below. That is our pinned comment in the video today. Finishing up our what to watch for, the effect of a night game in place, the night game effect for Ohio State. I'm very curious about this. I want to know if at night game, being a part of a night game, the transition in 1 week and that time of day, is it a problem for Ohio State? Might think that's ridiculous. Might think that's a little odd, but you really only have the 1 game to compare it to, and that was the Ohio game. Buckeyes played Ohio at night. I didn't think that game was all that pretty. I thought the Buckeyes took a while to get going. I thought they had a lot of sloppy moments. I thought they looked pretty uncomfortable against Ohio until they eventually got it on track. I want them to prove me wrong in this matchup against Minnesota. You may think it's a little crazy. I just think it's a little something to watch for in this one. Are the Buckeyes a little less comfortable at night? Do they have trouble playing in these night games? This will be our second piece of evidence with that one, so I want to keep an eye on that. Transitioning to our keys to victory in this one, Ohio State and Minnesota. Let's go pass heavy. Let's pass the rock a little bit. Let's let Julian Sand loose. Let's not wait till the second half when the offense takes a while to get going to really unleash this offense. You've got the guys to throw to. They've had a really good season so far, Smith and Carnell Tate. However, I think the Buckeyes have hesitated a little bit to go pass first in these games. Minnesota has a good defense against the run. Why play with it? Just go pass heavy. Pass, pass, pass. Attack through the air with these really good receivers that you have. Play to your strengths and win the game because you know what you're good at. You know what they're good at. So you want to capitalize on passing the ball. That's my hope for Ohio State in this one. Go pass heavy. Let Julian Sand loose a little bit. Don't have to wait to the second half for that to happen. That being said, got a prediction for who scores first for the Buckeyes. Carnell Tate was the heavy favorite for weeks, being the only one who scored in all the games. He didn't last week. C.J. Donaldson has been a guy they've gone to early. Always love to ask you guys this question and see your response. Who scores the first touchdown for Ohio State? Second key to victory is create turnovers. This has not been what the defense has been heavy on. It's been a very good defense, the number one defense in the country. Like we said, they've got that streak going. You just have the 2 interceptions. That's really it. I want to see a little more, and I think this is the game to do it. Pressure Drake Lindsey into trying to make big plays. Let your guys who commonly make plays on defense go out there and do it. And again, this group gets better and better and better every single week. One thing I think they will show you they're getting better at and going to get better at is creating turnovers. I think Lindsey and company are passing more, as I said earlier. PJ Fleck is passing more. Make them pay for it. If they think they want to change things up on you this year against this defense, make them pay. That leads me to a bold prediction for this game. Buckeyes have 2 interceptions all season. I think they're going to have 2 interceptions in this game alone. I think Minnesota getting too risky, leaning towards that pass, coming into Columbus, not going to work out for them. Last thing, every single week I have predicted or key to victory I have said, got to start fast, got to score fast, got to get after it right away, got to make sure you're outscoring the opponent at a heavy, heavy level. I'm done with it. My next key to victory, play off of your defense. That's clearly your strength. Don't rush it. These fast predictions or start fast predictions that I've had, done with them. I'm done with them. Ryan Day has said it. They have the defense to go slow and easy on offense, to let themselves work into the game, feel themselves out a little bit. And finally, I'm all right with that. Play to your strength. If that's your strength, if defense is your strength, go for it. Don't feel that need to pressure yourselves into trying big things early, to get points early. Do what has worked for you, play to your strength there, and score based off of your defense. You gave me your score prediction down in the comments. Now I'm going to give you mine. I think the streak keeps going. Minnesota will not have 10 points in this one. The Buckeyes, a 31-7 winner. We will have the watch party for you this Saturday, so be sure to tune in on the Ohio State Football Report.